She was beautiful in every possible way. A tall, lithe figure with full breasts, a mouth made for kissing, and other things that gentlemen didn't mention in polite company. Blue eyes fringed in dark lashes, honey gold hair that fell in waves, a complexion that begged comparisons to cream and milk and moonlight. Fox had taken one look at her and thought, mine. They were a perfect match in beauty, wealth, social standing, all that. They both enjoyed taking the temps by storm. He remembered the pride he felt as they strolled through a ballroom arm in arm, the feeling of everyone's eyes on them as they waltzed so elegantly. They were great together. They belonged together. Fox also remembered the more private moments, so many stolen kisses, the intimacy of gently pushing aside a wayward strand of her golden hair, promises for their future as man and wife. They would have perfect children and entertain the best of society, and generally live a life of wealth and pleasure and perfection. Together. Fox remembered his heart racing, nerves, when he proposed because this beautiful girl he adored was going to be his. And then she had eloped. With an actor. It burned that. Ever since he'd heard the news, Fox had stormed around in high dudgeon. He was not accustomed to losing. Take away her flattering gowns and face paint, and she's just like any other woman here, Fox said, wanting it to be true so he wouldn't feel the loss so keenly. Look at her, for example. Rupert and Mowbray both glanced at the woman he pointed out. A short, frumpy young lady nervously sipping lemonade. She spilled some down the front of her bodice when she caught three men staring at her. If one were to offer her guidance on supportive undergarments and current fashions, and get a maid to properly style her coiffure, why, she could be the reigning queen of the haute ton, Fox pointed out. Both men stared at him, slack-jawed. You've never been known for being the sharpest tool in the shed, Fox, but now I think you're really cracked, Mowbray said. You cannot just give a girl a new dress and make her popular. Well, Mowbray, maybe you couldn't, but I could. Gentlemen, Rupert cut in. I don't care for the direction of this conversation. You honestly think you can do it? Mowbray said. Odd. He turned to face Mowbray and drew himself up to his full height, something he did when he wanted to be imposing. His male pride had been wounded, and his competitive spirit, always used to winning, was spoiling for an opportunity to triumph. I know I can, Fox said with the confidence of a man who won pretty much everything he put his mind to, as long as it involved sport, or women. Arabella had been his first, his only loss. A fluke, surely. Well, that calls for a wager, Mowbray said. The two gentlemen stood eye to eye, the tension thick. Rupert groaned. Name your terms, Fox said. I picked the girl. Fine. This is a terrible idea, Rupert said. He was probably right, but he was definitely ignored. Let me see. Who shall I pick? Mowbray made a dramatic show of looking around the ballroom at all the ladies nearby. There were at least a dozen of varying degrees of pretty and pretty hopeless. Then Mowbray's attentions fixed on one particular woman. Fox followed his gaze, and when he saw who his friend had in mind, his stomach dropped. No. Yes, Mowbray said, a cocky grin stretching across his features. Unfortunately dressed, I can handle. Shy, stuttering English miss who at least knows the rules of society, sure. But one of the Americans? Fox let the question hang there. The Cavendish family had a reputation the minute the news broke that the new Duke of Durham was none other than a lowly horse trainer from the former colonies. He and his sisters were scandalous before they even set foot in London. Since their debut in society, they hadn't exactly managed to win over the haute ton either, to put it politely. No, they're not all bad, Rupert said. I quite like Lady Bridget. But Fox was still in shock, and Mowbray was enjoying it too much to pay any attention to Rupert's defense of the Americans. The blue stocking. That was the thing. Mowbray hadn't picked just any American, but the one who already had a reputation for being insufferably intelligent, without style or charm to make herself more appealing to the gentlemen of the temps. She was known to bore a gentleman to tears by discussing not the weather, or hair ribbons, or gossip of mutual acquaintances, but math.